Welcome to ITSP Magazine Podcasts, a modern, innovative multimedia platform broadcasting ideas and connecting minds. You are about to listen to a new short story from Storie Sotto le Stelle podcast. We invite families and friends of all ages to gather under the Tuscan night sky, ready to be carried away by magical short stories suitable for children and the young at heart. Here begins a wonderful adventure. A gift for all dreamers in search of enchantment, wonder, and wisdom. From the original Italian, here we present the English version. Now, let's all be quiet. The story is about to begin. The Tribe of Wandering Shoes. A story under the stars in 4 parts. Just like the seasons. The Summer Adventure. In a large clothing store downtown, among other items for sale, there were some rather peculiar sports shoes. In addition to being very comfortable, cheerful, and available in various colors, they would occasionally swap laces and positions for fun. And, believe it or not, they talk to each other. Lately, during the closing hour from 1:45 to 2:45, they would plot how one day they could fulfill their dream. They wanted to wander the world aimlessly, thus becoming the Tribe of Wandering Shoes. Hidden behind thick curtains were the fitting rooms, where, invisible to the store staff and customers, lived a lively little witch. Her name was Soletta the Witch, and she had a glowing magic wand from which she cast spells whenever she pleased. By day she spied, and by night she schemed, wandering around the store as if it were her own. It was no surprise she knew about the plot of the sports shoes. When they decided to take action, Soletta the Witch cast a spell, first tripling their number, and with a flick of her wand and a puff of air, sent them sliding down the escalator. Suddenly, they found themselves free outside. Now, free and multiplied, the Tribe of Wandering Shoes was ready for adventure. It was summer. The days were so hot and sunny that they decided to go to the beach. This would be their first stop. After packing for the journey, they set off. Step by step, they reached the seaside just at sunset. An incredible light reflected on the waves, turning them silver, and upon arriving at the beach, they swayed like leaves in the wind. The cool sand was pleasant to step on, but the grains that got into their shoes as they walked caused a lot of itching. They started jumping, dancing, and having fun, waking up all the umbrellas which reopened along with the drowsy deck chairs. At that point, everyone was laughing and dancing with the shoes. Joy, as we know, is contagious. After a wonderful evening together, they went to their hotel, and after a refreshing sleep, they got up early. The sun was still low on the horizon, and all agreed it would be nice to take a walk in the pine forest. After a hearty breakfast, they set off in single file. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, forward march. They walked in the shade along a tree-lined avenue. Seeing them, people were curious and said, "What beautiful, colourful shoes!" And they, happy and indifferent, continued, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, forward march. Reaching the pine forest, they sat under a huge tree. Everything was pleasant and relaxing until a bright flash, a sudden bolt from the blue, grazed them. They closed their eyes in fright, and when they opened them, they saw a vast field of mushrooms in front of them. Were they magical mushrooms? How could they have appeared so suddenly? And what about the pine forest? Was it perhaps a fantastic and enchanted place? Seeing the bewilderment of the wandering shoes, some mushrooms began to speak in unison. "We are part of a magic spell. This is the pine forest of wonders. We communicate with fantastic creatures and, together with them, protect the animals and plants living in this habitat." "We are very curious about this," said the surprised wandering shoes. "What else do you do?" The mushrooms responded again in chorus. "At night, we illuminate the undergrowth with iridescent lights. Our stems grow, and our caps change color." And they continued. "We traverse secret paths where magical plants grow that emit an enveloping and intoxicating fragrance. We enter caves where elves, squirrels, owls, bunnies, and many others live. We have the power to communicate with them. But if you're wondering why we appeared to you, it is because, unexpectedly, something fantastic has happened. The bright flash that grazed you has given you a superpower that now allows you to know the magical secrets of the pine forest. The mushrooms invited the entire tribe of wandering shoes, astonished and speechless, to stay in the pine forest and wait for the night. Mystery hung in the air until dusk, when the forest magically transformed into an enchanted fairy tale. And as the mushrooms had said, the shoes with their newfound superpower became part of it. They quietly explored the secret paths, entered the caves following the mushrooms, and met the elves and all the other inhabitants of the pine forest, magical and non-magical. At one point, all the shoes found themselves asleep under the big tree. Awakening before dawn, as if from an incredible and fantastic dream, the pine forest returned to their eyes as it was the day before. They lay for a while, reflecting on the mystery of the magical mushrooms. Drawn to the fantastic life of the nighttime pine forest, they returned once, twice, 3 times, and more. They learned the secret language used by the animals, mushrooms, and elves to communicate with each other, and thus the wandering shoes became part of the fairy tale. They spent the rest of the summer days breathing in the sea air and watching the sunsets, while the waves whispered mysterious melodies on the sand. But they spent the nights in the pine forest. Occasionally, they looked at each other and whispered incredulously, "Do we really have a superpower? Who knows?" And all in chorus, "Maybe Soletta the Witch knows something." And maybe, just maybe she does. Yes? No? What do you think? From summer to autumn, the adventure of the tribe of wandering shoes continues with a slightly spooky, but not too scary, Halloween story. Don't miss the next thrills and surprises. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Storie Sotto le Stelle podcast. If you like this story, add this show to your favorite podcast player and share Storie Sotto le Stelle podcast with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to connect your brand to this show and its audience, visit itspmagazine.com to learn how to sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our fantastic journey. If you wish to read this and many more stories in Italian and in English, please visit storiesottolestelle.com. A presto.